This is Fight Fans Radio.
Welcome to Across the Pond with your hosts, Andre Jacobs and Matt Simpson.
Are we live? We're live. I think we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fight Fans Radio, and also welcome to Across the Pond MMA. My name is Andre Jacobs, and as usual, I'm with Matt Simpson. Matt, how you doing?
Not too bad, man. Hopefully I come through loud and clear, being that I'm on site instead of in my normal spot.
Yeah, for sure, man. You kind of sound like you're talking like whilst in a swimming pool. You know, it's kind of cool. It's a nice little effect.
Well, I'm glad you like it. That's really all that matters.
Thank you. What have you been doing lately? What's going on in the life of Matt Simpson?
Tell you what, man, it's still pretty much Borderlands 2 has overtaken my life.
Nice.
It's pretty pathetic. So other than that, doing the normal stuff, work, movies, MMA.
Nice. And guys, this is an MMA show, so that's what we'll be talking about, and we'll throw in a little bit of entertainment stuff for you fellow geeks at the end. So, UFC, Invicta, Bellator, CES. To be honest, I don't really want to talk about Dave Bautista, but you sort of got to acknowledge it. Where do you want to start, man? It's been a hectic weekend of mixed martial arts.
Well, let's start off with Friday's events. So I'll start off with Bellator, and we got to witness the heavyweight tournament once again. Did you get to see any of that?
No, I didn't get to see any of that actually.
Well, it was somewhat surprising because I've been watching Bellator for some time now, and there's one thing that's always missing in their heavyweight division, and it was surprisingly it was there Friday night, and that's technique. There was actually a couple guys that looked really. I don't want to say looked really good. I mean, because the guys they were fighting were not that good, but they looked. I mean, they had striking that looked good, and they had. I know that Richard Hale, for one of the guys I'm talking about, he has solid ground game as well. So there was a couple guys that kind of impressed me, kind of made me have a little hope for their heavyweight division. But then there's some guys that just takes that hope and then smashes it into the ground and crumbles it up. So, but overall, it was an improved product. Normally, the heavyweight tournament, I have no desire to watch, but I'm kind of looking forward to the semis now. But the guy that impressed me the most was Richard Hale against Mike Wessel, and Wessel is basically bull in the china shop, puts his head down, takes punches, and tries to land big shots. But Richard, he avoided his big shots, and he looked solid. I mean, his stand-up was solid. We know his ground game's somewhat formidable, so he took out Mike Wessel in a minute 19 and looked impressive doing it. We also had Alexander Volkov getting a win over Brett Rogers. Brett Rogers basically looked like he was fighting his way out of Bellator. He was absolutely horrible. Volkov looked decent, but Brett Rogers looked absolutely abysmal. Then you had Vincius Quiroz fighting Marco Holata, and that was another fight that was back and forth right at the beginning. There's Holata landed a big punch that dropped Vincius, but Vincius recovered and managed to sink in an armbar that I could see coming from a mile away. And Mark's ground game's absolutely abysmal, so he was tapped out. And then the final fight of the night was Thiago Santos, Eric Frindle, which ended in a DQ groin strike, which surprised me. Thiago had the infamous throwing strike from last season, where he basically just straight kicked Eric Frindle in the balls. This one was even better because Eric Frindle, right before landing an axe kick to Thiago Santos' groin, was warned to not kick the groin. Which so that was the end of the heavyweight tournament. Was a beautiful axe kick by Eric Prindle into the bladder/groin area of Thiago Santos, which he could not recover from.
No, not many men could.
No, so but overall, like I said, it was an okay night of fights, especially being that it was the heavyweight division. And like I said, Richard Hell making the move up to heavyweight, he looked really good. So I'm really interested to see if he comes out of this heavyweight tournament.
Cool. Yeah, no, definitely. It's just hard. It's really hard for me to watch Bellator. You know what I mean? With everything going on, I don't know if I can spend the time to really just download every single episode. It should really come to the UK soon.
Well, hopefully with Spike, that'll happen.
Yeah, hopefully. What else do you want to hit on? What's the next one for you, man? Do you see ONE FC?
No, I didn't. I missed that.
Yeah, it was barely sort of promoted, really. It was kind of strange. Especially considering Shinya Aoki was main eventing.
Did you get to watch it then?
No, I haven't had a chance to.
Yeah, no, I missed that. There's a ton of MMA this weekend, but didn't MFC have an event as well?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, there's a ton. So with Friday night, we also had UFC on FX. So what'd you think of that?
Yeah, it was a good card. It's a shame. I don't know why people are doing the flyweight so much. It's kind of crazy to me. But yeah, you know, it was a good card. Shame about the finish and whatnot. But it feels like, you know, how do I put this? There were more. It was less about the fighters and more about the things going on around it, the whole Dennis Hallman thing and whatnot. So. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, no, I'm done.
Yeah, I tell you what really jumped out to me was the Jacob Volkman fight. I was completely floored by the fact that he managed to finally get a finish. Diego Nunez, man, came out like a monster, just nonstop, taking out Bart Pawlowski. There's a lot of guys that really blew me away. Justin Edwards, I mean, I thought he'd beat Josh Neer, but I mean, he just rolled right over the top of him.
Yeah.
So, and then what I really couldn't believe though was Jay Haran's fight against Jake Wallenberger. The fact that, I mean, we talked about it last week, that really the only way Jay was going to win this fight was to stay high volume and take chances of getting hit by Jake. And Jay was more, he fought a very conservative fight and stayed on the outside way too much, and it ended up costing him the decision.
Yeah, man, it's a weird one with Jay Haran. It seems like whenever he gets the chance, he sort of he mishits a little bit. So we'll see what happens with him. Is he a bit too old to sort of continue to progress? Is it very likely that he's going to have some ridiculous technical spurt? And I don't think so. So, you know, we'll see what happens with Jay. Jake Ellenberger, can he still be a title contender?
Right now, I'd say no. I mean, I don't really feel like that. What he's showing us inside the cage, screams title fight. I mean, he was just going right through his opponents, and that's just not the case anymore. So Jake needs to get some solid wins under his belt before the discussion of title contention comes into play for him.
Yeah, no, for sure. What do you think of Travis Brown versus Antonio Silva?
Well, I think Travis Brown should quit trying to do so much fancy footwork in the cage. I mean, because it looked like that's what hurt his knee early on in the fight. So I was kind of disappointed, obviously. I mean, because I thought the fight would be a little bit more interesting than what it was. Even though we picked Antonio Silva to win, but Travis Brown with doing his fancy footwork, messing his knee up, and then he couldn't plant. And Silva took the win. So big win for Silva. Sort of. I mean, I'm not big on Travis Brown, so neither of these guys are guys I really see making a ton of noise in the heavyweight division. But props to Antonio Silva.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Jeremy Stevens. What are your thoughts on that? It's kind of crazy, right?
That is nuts. Did they ever come up with what allegedly happened to cause him to miss? I know that he was supposedly arrested, but I didn't hear the entire story.
Pardon?
Did they ever come up with what he did, or what was the arrest?
Apparently, it
What
was
was the warrant?
assault.
Was assault? Yeah, I don't know. It was a complete mess, and the fact that they just ignored it the entire fight is what was blowing me away. That they didn't address it at the beginning, and then that they said that he was still maybe going to fight. I was just completely just the way it was handled by Dana and Zuffa, I thought was handled really poorly. So and hopefully he gets his head out of his ass and gets back in the fight game. And it stinks because I was really looking forward to that fight. Jeremy Stevens, Eve Edwards should have been a fantastic fight.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, I completely agree. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, anything else that sort of struck you about UFC on that Pac 5?
Well, I mean, outside of Michael Johnson, Danny Castillo, I mean, I think that's the only other fight that really, I just continue to get more and more impressed with Michael Johnson. I mean, he gets hurt and beat on and survives the first round, and then comes out and flattens Danny Castillo in the second. I know he said he wants a top 10 match. I don't know if I want to see him in a top 10 match yet, but the guy just continues to improve. So, I mean, you can't ignore that. So, again, he was really impressive.
Cool. Definitely. So that was Friday. What happened on Saturday? It was Invicta. Yeah, Dave Bautista won. On to the next one. What do you think of Invicta? Oh yeah, obviously. Sorry guys, Matt came in unprepared, and it's you know. Oh sorry. Sorry. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. There may be a live on-air vomiting because I am rather ill. So it's very close there. Invicta was a good event. It's really it was really good just to see a lot of these women showcase their skills. I was particularly impressed by Carla Esperanza, I believe her name is. Slick transitions on the floor. She could be a one for the future. And I just hope that the momentum that the Shannon Knapp and co have created stays, and they continue to get the numbers that they're getting, because it's good that these women have an opportunity to showcase their skills in a place that's a little bit more stable than Strikeforce.
No, I agree. I had the opportunity to watch a couple of fights, and they were really entertaining. And from what I understand, like the card was a fun card to watch. And I can't imagine that this organization is going to go away. I mean, I think it is starting to garner more attention, and the writers, which are help that out a lot, they're starting to pay attention more to women's MMA. So once they get really behind it and they put it out there more, I think it'll help the sport that much more.
No, definitely. Yeah, I think that was all the MMA this weekend. Are we missing anything?
No, I think that we pretty much hit it all. There's not a whole lot of news either again this week. There's just a ton of events.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do the predictions for UFC 153. The card riddled with injuries, but suddenly becomes a little bit more awesome in a weird way. It's in Brazil, and the main event is Anderson Silva versus Stephan Bonner at light heavyweight. Whoever thought that you'd have seen that? We're not going to go through the entire preliminary card, but let's talk a little bit about some of the more interesting ones, such as Cristiano Marcelo versus Reza Madadi. I suppose that's how you say it, right?
I think you did.
Cool. So, yeah, what do you think about that, Matt?
I'm looking forward to that fight. I think it should be an interesting matchup. I've been as far as picking the fight, picking the winner. I'm going to go with Madadi coming off of that coming out. He's on a huge win streak, whereas Marcelo's coming off a loss. I'm going to go with a submission win for him.
Cool. I actually think that Madadi will maybe TKO him personally, but we'll see. We both think Madadi will win. Let's go into the prelims. Diego Brandao versus Joey Gambino. Who you got for that one?
Diego Brando all the way. Joey Gambino. I know that I think there's some hardcore fans that like this kid. But I think Diego, coming off of his recent loss to Darren Elkins, I mean, he's going to tighten his game up. And Brandao is just an absolute monster. He's still a monster in the cage. He is going to be looking to get back in the win column, and Joey Gambino is going to be the one he does it with.
Cool. A featherweight contest between Honey Jason Becerra versus Sam Cecilia. Who you got for this one, man? That's kind of an interesting throwdown.
Interesting, but I think Jason's still going to take this via submission. I don't think that Sam's going to be able to handle his grappling. I think Honey will get to the ground and take care of business.
Cool. So now we are on to the main card. Hold on. Oh, sorry. Cool. Yeah.
Hang in there, Andre. Hang in there.
Hold on. I'm cool. I'm trying. I'm good. Yeah, cool. So excuse me, guys. Sorry. Yeah, a welterweight contest between Damian Maia and Rick Story.
Well, Rick Story.
Yeah.
You know, what is Rick Story's story? I mean, the guy is he was on his way up, and then he ran into Charlie Brenneman on a short notice fight. Then loses to Martin Kampman, gets back in the win column for Rock Jardine, but I think he's going to lose again. I mean, Damian Maia's grappling is just, you know, elite. Rick Story's grappling is solid, I'd say. His striking is rudimentary. Damian Maia's striking is not that great, but it's, I think, better than Story. I don't see any way Maia loses this fight, other than Maia coming in out of shape and not ready to fight, which we have seen him do that. That doesn't, as long as that doesn't happen, Maia should have his way with Rick Story and either win a UD, if not, I'd say late round submission.
Yeah, I mean, you took the words out of my mouth, mate, so can't really add on to him much of that. Wagner Prado versus Phil Davis. Everyone remembers that this fight actually happened earlier this year, but it was stopped because of a finger to the eye. So what have we got for this one, man?
Yeah, I had Phil Davis winning the first time around. I still think Phil Davis is going to win this fight. It probably won't be the most exciting fight in the world. Phil Davis' striking is not the best, and I mean, it's improving. I mean, maybe we'll see a big jump for him coming into this fight. But Wagner Prado's striking, I think, is dangerous enough to make Phil try to stay outside until he can set up the takedowns and then work his ground game. Maybe get a submission. I think it's going to probably lean more towards the UD for Phil Davis, but either way, Phil comes away with the win. Cool.
Eric Silva versus John Fitch. It sort of feels like John Fitch has been sent to the wolves, but who have you got for this one?
You know how much of a fan of John Fitch I am. So going into this fight, it's really hard to. It was still really hard to fight to pick. Fitch's wrestling is always going to be a factor, and Eric Silva, he's BJJ, fast, explosive striker, powerful. But John Fitch, man, unless he gets caught like he did by Johnny Hendricks, I think he's going to be grinding on Silva. I'm leaning towards John Fitch doing what John Fitch does best, which is just grind out the win. But I think I'm going to go back and I'm going to go with Eric Silva. I think Eric Silva is going to hurt him, put him on the ground, and actually get a submission win. I think John Fitch's last time he submitted was his very first fight. I think that Eric Silva hurts Fitch early and gets a submission victory. Cool.
Fabio Maldonado versus Glover Teixeira. What are your thoughts on that, man?
My thoughts are Fabio Maldonado, man, moved down to middleweight. I love this guy, but he's kind of a soft light heavyweight. I don't know why he stays at light heavyweight. think he's only like 6'1", moved down to middleweight. That being said, this is a really interesting fight because Fabio can take a beating, and Glover is just absolutely a monster in the stand-up game. But Fabio has slick boxing, man. I love watching this guy fight. Glover gets in tight with him. Fabio's got nasty body shots. But Glover's speed and power, I think, is what's going to end up hurting Fabio. And Fabio takes a lot of punches. His defense isn't that great. His combos, the way he sets up body shots, the way he sets up his 1-2 and stuff is fantastic. And like I said, it's I think some of the better striking in the heavyweight division. But the problem is that he likes to get punched in the face. And with Glover, that's just going to be his downfall. I mean, Glover's super powerful to take the shots that Fabio tends to take in a fight. So I'm going to say Glover. I think Glover's actually going to finish Fabio. Fabio's never been knocked out, to my knowledge, but I think that Glover's going to get that done just because Fabio takes too many shots, and hopefully he moves down to middleweight. Because middleweight, Fabio, I just love to see. I think he'd be really, really interesting in middleweight.
Cool. Now on to the co-main event. Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira versus Dave Herman. Whoa. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, Dave Herman. I mean, Dave Herman came into this fight, and we 100% ahead was game. Maybe he pulls out a win, but I don't have any faith in this guy. Nogueira always brings his A game, as long as he's not injured. And coming off an injury, I think the guy's gotten healthy and healthy enough to beat Dave Herman. I mean, his stand-up is better than Dave's, and on the ground, we know that Nogueira is fantastic. Even though Dave Herman says that, nobody can, or that his wrestling cancels out jiu-jitsu, it's not going to cancel out Nogueira's jiu-jitsu. I think Nogueira will eventually hurt Herman, get him to the ground, and get the submission victory.
And then you have the main event between Anderson Silva and Stephan Bonner. What are your thoughts on that, Matt?
Anderson Silva, Stephan Bonner. I mean, I would love to see Stephan Bonner get the win here, but I just don't see it happening. Stephan, he's going to have to come in, he's going to try to get the fight to the ground and try to control Anderson Silva on the ground. Could he do that? I mean, I guess, maybe, but I just don't see it happening. I mean, Silva will stay on the outside. He's got ridiculous striking. He is the top striker in the MMA world right now. Stephan isn't. So, I mean, it's a fight that could be interesting and could be fun, but Anderson Silva should get the win here fairly easily.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think everyone sort of feels that right now. It's a bit of just a fight for Anderson Silva's legacy, really, right now. So, no one really seems to be taking it seriously. But, it should be a fun fight.
No, exactly. Because Stephan can take a beating, and you never know, man. It's what MMA is about. I mean, we've seen big upsets. So Matt Serra knocked out GSP. I mean, stranger things have happened.
So true. So true. Yeah. So, what are your well, we've gone through the MMA stuff in a amount of time, so we've got a lot of time to talk about some entertainment stuff. What are your thoughts on that? What's going on your TV at the moment? What's going on with on your TV at the moment? What are you looking for? What are you watching?
I tell you what, man, TV is loaded down. My DVR, I can't keep up with it. We've got like Homeland, Dexter, Hell on Wheels just finished. I haven't watched the second episode of Elementary yet. First episode was okay. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but it was all right. I mean, so yeah, lots of stuff. But Dexter and Homeland, those are. I didn't get to watch last night's Homeland, but those are my two big series now that Hell on Wheels just finished, which was a brutal ending to Hell on Wheels. But I don't want to give anything away for people that haven't seen that.
That's cool. Yeah, no, I'm pretty much watching Dexter and Homeland myself as well. Luckily for me, Walking Dead is coming back next weekend. Happy Endings is coming back soon. And of course, New Girl. No one ever watches New Girl because, this is a manly podcast, We're men.
But no, you're right. And with Walking Dead coming back next week, man, super excited to see that. Cannot wait to see what they do with the series. I've been really happy with it so far, and I'm a huge comic book geek. I've read all the comics, so I'm super critical going into this because that's one of my all-time favorite comics, and they've really just hit it out of the park so far.
For sure. Seen any films recently? What's going on?
Yes, this weekend I had the opportunity to watch Taken 2, which that was an opportunity I could have passed on. I think that it's going to fall into a category of, I think that some people that watch the first one, they probably will like the second one. It's going to be like a 50-50 thing. If you're at all critical of movies, you are not going to like Taken 2. I mean, it's basically a rehash of the first one with less action. Liam Neeson, I mean, it's Liam. The guy always puts on his game face and gives us and does a good job in his movies. But overall, the movie was just an attempt to make more money. I mean, it's right up there with Weekend at Bernie's too, which should never have been made, and neither should have Taken 2. So I don't know that I can even recommend it to anybody. If you are a huge Liam Neeson fan, and I mean huge, like you own all of his movies, you've watched Darkman like 7,000 times, then maybe drop some change and go check it out the movie. Otherwise, I would wait till the movie comes out on DVD. I would watch it on DVD, but going to the movies and seeing it, I think you're wasting your money. I took my daughter to the movies, which we went to see Frankenweenie. Not a Tim Burton guy. So I like Beetlejuice and I like the first Batman, but I'm not a big Tim Burton guy. But the movie was actually fairly entertaining. My daughter loved it, which is what you go to see a movie like that for. So if you're going to take your kids to a movie, I can absolutely say Frankenweenie will get them going. And my daughter, she's 3.5, so she's not watched a lot of scary stuff. And she just started watching Scooby-Doo. And Scooby-Doo, at times, she has to hide behind the couch when the monsters come out and stuff. But she sat through this one pretty good. And the end of Frankenweenie, I mean, all hell literally breaks loose. So, and she made it through that and didn't get too scared. And we have a dog. People are familiar with Frankenweenie. Frankenweenie is a play on Frankenstein, where a little boy brings his dog back to life. And I was a little bit worried watching this because my daughter's still at the age when she she thinks that, the Disney princesses are real and stuff like that. So I was a little bit worried that, our dog is really old and he's probably not going to be around that much longer. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, we're watching this movie and like 3 months from now, something happens to our dog. Is my daughter going to be wanting to bring the dog back to life? And we're going to have this big, long discussion about how that was just a movie and it can't really happen in real life. And so I hope that doesn't happen. But it was a fun movie, animated really well. But I mean, everything you expect from Tim Burton animation. That's what you got. I mean, it was the voiceovers were good, clean. I mean, everything looked really good. And so I'd say definitely if you want to take your kids to a movie this weekend, that Frankenweenie would be a great movie to go to.
Sure, for sure. Quick question, right? It seems like we've just completely stormed through this podcast. You're a Dexter fan, and Erica, you can jump in on this if you want to, because everyone loves it when you jump in. We all know that Michael C. Hall and the woman, his sister Deb, were once married, and they've sort of got they had like a love sort of thing going on last season. Is it me, or does anyone else find that slightly weird because they're now divorced?
I'm sure she finds it slightly weird. Jennifer Carpenter is her name.
Yeah. Sorry. Has anyone actually even thought about that? Is it just me?
That was just you for me. I never thought about that.
Oh, I have. I would think it would be weird. Wouldn't it be weird? You don't think that'd be weird for you, Matt? Like if you were...
Well, I think it'd be weird, but I didn't think about it.
Oh.
It never entered my mind. But yeah, that would be kind of strange.
For sure. Well, to be honest, I don't really have anything else to talk about. This went through really quickly. Usually we go for an hour and a half, but we just blazed through. Really, to be honest, it's probably because I just kind of want to watch Dexter, but maybe it's subconsciously. But guys, you should know that Fight Fans Radio has been nominated for a Stitcher Award. You can vote for it. It's the first annual Stitcher Award, actually. So, you can vote once a day for the next 2 weeks at stitcher.com/Stitcher Awards. Or you can go to fightfansradio.com and give us a shout out and a vote. That would be awesome. And hopefully we can win and do something good, because Matt doesn't believe in us, because Matt's a hater. So, right, guys. So, right, guys. Hopefully you enjoy weekend's fights. We will, and we'll be back on a Sunday. I'm not going anywhere. Hopefully Matt's not busy. It's not any like.
Actually, I believe that we're going to miss this coming Sunday because our producer is going to be in Brazil.
Erica.
Yes, sir.
Yo.
I'll be in Brazil with half-naked women.
Screw you. Right. We'll be back whenever Erica's back, and hopefully we'll be doing another show again. And here's to another 50 shows. Erica, can you play that? Not so. Actually, wait a minute. Matt, who would you like to thank?
Well, as always, we got to thank Fight Fans Radio, Erica Lewis for producing the show, and I got to thank the people that download and listen to the show. Keep doing it. You can follow myself at Matt Simpson MMA on Twitter. You can follow Andre Jacobs MMA, and Erica, I believe it's FightFans_Erica on Twitter as well. So make sure you hit us up on there if you got any questions, things you'd like to hear us talk about. Other than that, that's about it for me.
Cool. No, you took the words out of my mouth, and the people I wanted to thank out of my mouth. So, Erica, can you play that not so funky music? We're out here. Peace.